Right, I got the ambitious goal of scenicking this side. My little prototype here worked out alright. You can tell different colours. This is because this side hasn't had its super soaking yet of scenic cement. This side has. It worked well enough though. I'm going to try and see if I can't do this side. So I've taken everything off the layout. I'm going to try and put the road in today. Paint first round of scenic treatment, so everything's off, waiting to go back on again. All the rolling stock's off, all the buildings are put away, so it's pretty naked. So I decided I'm gonna use this tape. It's just wide enough here for me anyway, just to keep it off the rails, because what I'm finding is when I spray with the combination of alcohol and then glue, the rail themselves getting a bit tarnished. So I don't know, you probably can't see, but it's got like a brown tinge to it. So I'm figuring take this all up, won't have that problem, and I don't mind if I get more scenic cement on the ballast. It'll just stick down the stuff that might still be loose. I do need to do a little bit of something here. Now that I've got this old triangle buffer stop in, I'm going to have to fill this in. Probably just use some sort of polyfiller. It's an unnatural angle here anyway, so I might as well fill that in while I'm going. This is an example here of where I've already done that. This had actually gone down, and you can see from the depth I put back in just to fill it back up and put a straight edge on it. So let's see how it goes. It's alright, job number one. Blue painter's tape over the rails. Doesn't have to be pretty, just gonna want to make sure that I keep the glue off the rails. So yeah, functional. All right, we got we got the track covered now. It didn't take very long. The next thing I'm going to do, I think, is I've roughed in where the road should be. I had some dimensions that I've got for how wide a road should be for an A road, including with the pavement. So I kind of like marked it in there. I think it's time just to double check. So for an A road, this is the width without the pavement. So that would be enough for cars to be parked at the side of the road and one vehicle to get by, which I think is pretty representative. I guess at a push, I guess at a push it's 4 car widths wide. So that's good enough. That's good enough for me. So I think I'll go with where I've marked it in. Use the same technique I did for this little access road. Put the tape down, mix up the compound, put the paint in with the compound, and spread it, and then sand it when I'm done, just to take out the irregularities. Maybe get a bit of texture on it. So let's see. That's next step. Alright, so now the area is nice and clean. I gave it a quick vacuum, got rid of all of the ballast that was in the way. Going to use our Wooland Scenics road system paving tape to basically build the edges where we don't want the road to go, and then we fill in the bit in the middle with cement. So against this side here, just sticks down. Tear it off just here because I've got an existing one coming in. I did make sure I put these lines down with a straight ruler first that I'm getting this up against. So curves actually I did freehand. Probably not a good idea. I've seen since that better idea would have been to have a piece of bamboo or something, pin it in a curve and then trace around that, but I'm going to live with what I've got. Perfection is not an ultimate realism isn't our goal here. So, and anyway, I think I'll probably put some pavement slabs right up against the road. So I'll finish this off and then we'll come back to the road laying itself. Yeah, we're going to do a quick bit of improvisation, seeing as we've still got some tape. So we masked in the road now with a, like I said, you know, not exactly perfect. And there is a point over here where I'm going to put some sort of a like a loading and unloading area, so there should be a road to get there. I had marked out before I was going to put some houses there, so it says house, there was going to be a pub on the corner, and there were going to be some shops, and there was going to be a church. And that was actually because my hometown, that's kind of the way that the high street's laid out. So knowing that I'm probably going to have a pub on the corner, I'm in two minds as to whether to have the road be straight or actually join at the end. I think the easiest thing for me is just to end up with a T-junction here. And I've lost my initial guide, so I'm going to go with plan B. The road will be less than a road anyway, so this sheet of sandpaper is about right. So I'm about to put the sandpaper in, use it as a rough guide, draw straight lines out here, pave this whole area right up to where the scenery will come in, and you know, a bit this side too, sort of like a, there would have to be enough space for cars or lorries to turn around. I did buy a model at one point of a Scarab, Great Western Scarab, so knowing it would come in, I'll mess about with this a little bit and get a sense of, you know, how far this side, you know, this parking area will need to be, and then I'll freehand in using the paving tape. So we'll see what I can come up with there. Alright, so we roughed it in. You can see I put a curve on the curb there. I'm not going to have it go at right angles. It doesn't go at right angles in real life, so I won't have it happen here. Quick sanity check is the station halt that I'm using. Hopefully I can get it to go a little closer to the track than that. It's a little far away. I'm probably going to take this railing off. Actually, even just as I look at this now, if somebody was actually going to get up there, they'd need some room. So we'll bend this a little. I'll have to stick that down. From a scale perspective, I know this is the right height for there being a truck, the truck itself would have enough room to come in, maneuver a bit. So I'm fairly happy that that'll be enough space. To the side of it is where the side of the pub is going to go. I'm going to use the Hornby Mason's Arm pub, so it'll probably be about there. That does give enough room around the side. I don't know whether I'll put a garden on the back. Maybe this will be just gravel to facilitate parking, so you know, cars could come in down the road, turn in, actually maybe even use the, you know, this particular road, you know, turn in, have a couple of parking there. You know, making up as I go, not necessarily very prototypical, but you know, hey, that's my design, how I think it should be, so works for me. Alright, next stop is mix up the road compound and spread it. I just used a bit of sandpaper on my spreader, had some goop and stuff on it. I want it nice and smooth for being able to spread. Oh, got the Bex as well, so that's always helpful whilst working on the model railway. Right, so we're ready for the next step. We've got everything sorted. We've got a paving, smooth it road system. Thank you very much, Wooland Scenics. Actually, thank you very much, Centerline Hobbies. $6 for that. We've got our top coat asphalt, which is, I'm going to actually mix with the powder. $5 for that. I'm not going to be using anywhere near all of that. And that paving tape that we had earlier, about $8. So, you know, this particular part of the project runs around less than $20. We'll see how it goes. So I got to have 2 parts of this to 1 of water. Gonna mix it in a bowl, and we're gonna mix the tarmac stuff in. I actually want darker than that grey. I want to go for sort of more of a black. Not actually sure what colour the roads were in the late 50s, which is the period we're going after here, but we'll see how it turns out. Feel a bit like Blue Peter, but there's no point in filming the mixing, so well, we'll let the camera roll anyway. We'll see what happens. You know, maybe there'll be a large mess. So 2-to-1 ratio. This stuff comes out. I don't know if you can see it coming out. It's a grey powder when it's coming out. It doesn't want to bloody come out for some reason. I do have a drop cloth down just in case, but it is a bit of a powdery mess. You know what I'm going to do is, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, but I'm going to go with 1 cup of this stuff and half a cup of water. We'll see how that comes out. Sort of a bit guesswork, really. Is that about half? Whatever. Handy dandy stirring stick, which is left over from painting. Very sludgy at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to thicken up as this powder comes in. The instructions were to use a clean container, which it was. 2 cups of smooth it into 1 cup of water and mix well. If we're paving a slant, which we're not, a thicker consistency may be needed. Just add more smooth it to the mixture. So at the moment, let's see, it's pretty runny, but I'm not mixing it anywhere near done yet. So alright, I'm going to mix this up and then come back later once the paint's in it. Just a little bit of elbow grease later. It's now kind of the consistency of a pretty runny custard. Certainly no, but not thick enough to hold your spoon up. Oh, I think the washing's done. So we'll try putting, so you can see the colour it is, like grey colour. Not too dissimilar from what that other was. I'm surprised because I thought I'd actually mixed this black asphalt into the other one. So, oh crap. Guess I should have read the instructions on this first. Didn't say to shake well. Alright, we shook it. Let's put some. See how dark it gets. So I guess it's going to dry lighter than I thought, so I'll put plenty in. Right, time to mix. Made my life difficult for myself because I put the bridges on before I put the road down, so I'm going to have to put the paste underneath there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do down there because I didn't put I want the road to go right up against the side of the bridge, so it's going to be difficult for me to spread it to the right height. So, bit of an idiot, but well, I guess we live and learn. For my next layout, we'll know not to do that. So in 2 minds, I think I'm going to start in the middle and work my way to the edges. That way if I run out, I've just got the edges to do. And I'm also not sure, I didn't take any care yet on the very end as to how I'm going to finish that off. Guess I better figure that out before I start pouring. We'll see what ingenious solution I come up with. I think it's going to involve bits of card and sticky back plastic personally, but we'll see. Alright, so here we go. It's now thickened up quite considerably because I actually put some more paste in it. Probably should have done with giving it another last minute vacuum, make sure it doesn't have any bits around, but too late now, we started, so just getting the material initially on the baseboard and some piles, and then I've got a piece of scrap wood that I'm going to use as my level. It's not making as much as I thought it was going to make, so there we go. And the idea is you just take your spreader, drag it across the tape, and it will spread to an even thickness. Alright, this is not working per the instructions. Clearly I did not mix it enough. I can see lumps and bumps in the mixture. Oh, some big ones like that. Ooh, well, this should be interesting. I'm going to spread away, and I know the battery is low on the camera anyway. We'll come back and see what the finished product's going to be like. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to be busy with sandpaper and all sorts when I'm done, because once this is dried, it's going to be really irregular because of all of the bits and pieces that are still in here, rough stuff. Alright, well, I'm going to go play with my dirt here for a bit. see what it looks like when all said and done.